Do you know what is perspective on behavior? In psychology, you will come across this term, and I am going to tell you this thing, that what is perspective on behavior. See this thing. When you throw a ball, then it comes down. Newton gravitation law, you know this thing. Then only one thing is that this is the cause and this is the effect. But can you say the same thing for human behavior? For example, a person is depressed. Can you can you pinpoint only one reason for that depression? Try to understand this thing. So when we behavior, this is called behavior plus mental process. This is the subject matter of psychology. You know this thing. So when we try to understand this thing completely, then we come across several factors, not single factor. For example, when I say that this person is depressed, so called depression. For example, we have taken this thing. You want to understand that why a person is depressed. You cannot have only one answer for this thing. Human behavior is very complex. Getting, and it is caused by several factors, several reasons may be there. For example, biochemical imbalances could be there. For example, there could be, one thing is called neurotransmitter that is found in brain. So medical perspective says that imbalances may cause depression. So neuro explanation, or you can say neurotransmitter explanation. Transmitter. So this has given, I'm just pointing that there could be medical cause of depression. Maybe gene or maybe malfunctioning of brain chemicals. A name is called serotonin, for example. So this become what? Biopsychological perspective. Biopsychological. This is one perspective. This is also called medical perspective. See this. But the same thing, same problem may be rooted in learning problem also. Suppose you happen to be in a society, in an environment where you were trying hard to achieve your goal, or you whatever things you want to achieve, but you failed because environment was not promising. You worked hard, but no reward came. You were punished. So many researchers have proved this thing, and when you live in this kind of environment, this kind of experience may lead to frustration, may lead to helplessness, and learned helplessness helplessness could be learned. So could say learned helplessness. So learned helplessness is nothing but learning. The perspective on behavior says that many of the things that we do, means the way we behave, may be learned through experience. See, this was because the biological factor. The same problem is explained from other angle, and this is called because of the learning. See, learning problem means not learning problem, you can say that because of learning, helplessness has been required. Maybe you have learned resourcefulness, that you are very cheerful. Means that I am making efforts and environment is, I am not able to control my environment, change my environment. So what I will learn? Helplessness, and that causes. Martin Seligman is a researcher that proved this. This is the second perspective. Understood? Try to understand. Same problem, but different explanation. Now the other this is called behavioral perspective. So this one, this is biological perspective, and those perspectives that emphasize learning, that is called behavioral perspective. Understood? Now see this thing. Many scholars and researchers feel that the kind of beliefs you carry, the kind of assumptions that you have in your mind, theory that you have in mind about life is fair, life is very life it is not life is unfair to everyone. Suppose this kind of things you have, so that will result, the way you believes, the way you feel, and the way you behave. Means your beliefs and thinking will influence your behavior. So ultimately it is your cognition, Cognition means what things you hold in your mind that will have influence on your behavior. So this perspective is called cognitive perspective. See the cognitions, your cognition influences. See, you are trying to understand, we are trying to understand what causes depression. So see this thing, same depression has different explanation, and that has given birth to different kind of perspective. Means behavior is very composite, very complex. We cannot, a person gets if you just modify the beliefs of the person, if you change the beliefs of the person somehow, you will find that the person is improving. And this is used in therapy also. In go in USA and everywhere, you can say clinical psychology, this is one of the important model that is used. If you want to bring about changes in the condition of depression, then try to modify the beliefs, try to make the person more rational, then he will be you know getting okay, he will be normal. So likewise, but many times you will find that you behave but you are not aware. Sometimes we behave but we are not aware. So person is depressed but he doesn't know any reason for that thing. So I don't know, medically is fit. So many some a group of psychologists is there led by Sigmund Freud is name. We will discuss in the next unit. But here I am just telling that the some reason could be unconscious in your unconscious mind. Disturbances could be in your unconscious mind also. Means consciously that we are aware what we are aware. Right now I am teaching you, so I am aware. But something is there in our mind that is not in awareness. It means our mind has a portion that is unconscious, and unconscious mind may have reason for depression. So this, when those who emphasizes unconscious mind, unconscious unconscious mind, reason could be here. So this is called psychodynamic perspective. Psychodynamic perspective. See this thing, biological perspective, learning perspective, cognitive perspective, psychodynamic perspective, and likewise there are other perspective. Getting? So in brief I want to say that because behavior is complex, behavior is multi-componential. Means human behavior is not uniform, it have several reasons for that. So several causal factors here. For example, the one perspective is socio-cultural perspective. You know this thing? Socio-cultural means our values, our norms also regulate our behavior. So the way you behave maybe because of your values, the way I behave maybe because of my values, a difference it could be visible. So here, suppose I am not able to achieve my value, I may feel worthless in my life, I may get depressed. Socio-cultural perspective says this thing, the values and norms are important determinants of behavior, and we try to achieve that thing. See, so have you understood this thing? Likewise, there are humanistic perspective and all. In brief, I want to say that perspective means a model to understand behavior. But this thing, that because behavior is complex, very composite, it has heterogeneous nature, it is mixed. So the same behavior and it has multiple causal factor behind it could have. So which one is the root cause? You cannot say for sure. So this is the reason we approach behavior and mental process from multiple angle. I hope you have understood this thing, that what is the meaning of perspective. That is a framework to understand behavior, approach, a model to understand behavior, like medical perspective or behavioral perspective, cognitive perspective. And why do we have several perspective in behavior? Because behavior is composite by nature. It is not singular like with things we have in thermodynamics or mechanics. In physics, the explanation is very uniform, but here we do not have uniform explanation. Have you understood this thing? So मिलेंगे अगले वीडियो में और बात करेंगे किसी और कॉन्सेप्ट पे. आई होप आई मेड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर. थैंक यू.